What if I told you the language you're hearing right now isn't just Filipino? What if every time someone says salamat or asks kumusta, they're actually speaking ancient Arabic and 16th century Spanish? The origin of the Tagalog language is one of the craziest stories you've never been told. You probably think it's a local language, born and raised in the Philippine Islands. But the truth, it's a globe-trotting adventurer, a linguistic pirate that stole words from India, China, Spain, and even Mexico. In this video, we're going on a treasure hunt through history to uncover the secret DNA of Tagalog. And trust me, by the end of this video, you will never hear the Filipino language the same way again. Stick around, because the answer is way more shocking than you think. Okay, so to find the origin of Tagalog, we don't start in the Philippines. We don't even start in this millennium. We have to go back, way back, like 4,000 years ago. And we have to go to a place you'd never expect. Taiwan. Yeah, you heard me. Taiwan. See, thousands of years ago, a group of absolute legends lived there. We called them the Austronesians. And these people, man, they were the greatest explorers of their time. Forget Columbus, forget Magellan. The Austronesians, using nothing but stone tools and canoes called belingay, pulled off the most widespread human migration in history. They sailed into the vast, terrifying emptiness of the Pacific Ocean. Think about that for a second. No compass, no GPS, just stars, wind, and currents. It's insane. And they didn't just survive, they conquered the ocean, island hopping from Taiwan south to the Philippines, then spreading west to Madagascar in Africa, and east all the way to Easter Island, just off the coast of South America. They created a massive oceanic civilization. This wasn't an accident, it was a full-blown expansion. So, what's the payoff here? What does this have to do with Tagalog? Well, that ancient language they spoke, Proto-Austronesian, is the grandma of hundreds of modern languages, including Tagalog. It's the foundational DNA. It's the ghost in the canoe that still whispers in every sentence. Words like bahay, apoy, tubig, ako, and even the basic numbers isa, dalawa, tatlo, these are not Spanish words, not Chinese words. They are pure, ancient Austronesian heirlooms. They are echoes from that first incredible voyage thousands of years ago. It's like finding a living, breathing fossil. So that solves it, right? Tagalog is an Austronesian language from Taiwan. End of story. Not even close. Because if the language was born from seafaring explorers, then why does Tagalog have words for things that didn't exist in those canoes? Words for gods, for karma, for spiritual teachers. Words that sound suspiciously Indian. How did the soul of ancient India end up in the heart of the Philippines? The plot, believe me, thickens. By the way, if you love digging into these hidden connections that rewrite the stories we think we know, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. We're called the Unifying Lens, and our whole mission is to explore these forgotten histories that secretly connect us all. It's totally free, and it's the best way to support the channel and make sure we can keep making more videos just like this one. Now back to the mystery. All right, so we have the Austronesian base. The skeleton of the language is in place, but a skeleton is pretty boring. It needs meat, it needs organs, it needs a personality. And Tagalog got its personality by being a total party animal at a global crossroads for 1,000 years. Long before the Spanish ever showed up, the Philippines was a major hub for international trade. It was like the Singapore or Dubai of the ancient world, and one of its biggest trading partners was the powerful Srivijayan Empire, a massive Hindu-Buddhist kingdom based in Indonesia.
Through them, a wave of Indian culture, religion, and language washed over the islands. This wasn't a conquest with swords, it was a conquest with ideas. And this is where we get some of the most beautiful and spiritual words in Tagalog. The word diwata, meaning a fairy or a goddess, that comes directly from the Sanskrit word devata, which means divine being. The word guru for teacher, straight from Sanskrit guru. Even the word mukha for face comes from Sanskrit. This tells us something incredible. The early Filipinos weren't isolated islanders. They were part of a sophisticated international community deeply connected to one of the world's great civilizations. They were thinking about philosophy, spirituality, and the divine. But that still doesn't explain everything. What about the food? Words like pancit, siomai, lumpia, toyo, these don't sound Austronesian and they definitely don't sound Indian. So where did they come from? For that, we have to look to another set of traders who were all over the Philippines, the Chinese, specifically merchants from the Hokkien-speaking Fujian province. They came to trade silk and porcelain, but they ended up leaving their mark on the Filipino kitchen and the Filipino family forever. Pancit comes from the Hokkien phrase bien esit, which basically means something conveniently cooked. It was ancient fast food. And it's not just food. Some of the most central family terms in the Philippines are from Hokkien. The word kuya for older brother comes from koa. Ate for older sister comes from atsi. Think about that. The very words used to structure the family unit came from the merchants who came to do business. This wasn't just trade, it was a deep cultural exchange happening right at the dinner table. So let's recap. We have an ancient Austronesian skeleton dressed in the spiritual robes of India and seasoned with the flavors of China. This is already a complex, beautiful language. But in 1521, everything changed. A fleet of ships appeared on the horizon. They didn't come to trade silk or share ideas. They came for God, gold, and glory. The Spanish had arrived, and for the next 333 years, they would conduct the biggest linguistic experiment in the Philippines' history. They didn't just add a few words, they performed a total vocabulary transplant. Roughly 1/3 of all the words in modern Tagalog are Spanish loanwords. 1/3! That is a staggering number. Days of the week, all Spanish, lunes, martes, miércoles. Months of the year, Spanish, enero, febrero, marzo. The way you tell time, often using Spanish numbers, a las dos, a las tres. Basic household items, silla, mesa, cuchara, tinedor. Even the most common Filipino greeting, ¿Cómo está?, is literally just the Spanish question, ¿Cómo estás? How are you? The Spanish influence was so immense it fundamentally rewired the vocabulary of the language. So here's the ultimate question. After 333 years of colonization, did Tagalog just become a broken dialect of Spanish? Did it lose its original identity? Or did it do something clever? Did it secretly fight back, absorbing the Spanish language and bending it to its will without anyone noticing? The answer lies in the very soul of the language, its grammar. This right here is the most amazing part of the story. You can flood a language with foreign words, but it's much, much harder to change its grammar. Grammar is the operating system, the deep down code that runs everything. And the grammar of Tagalog, well, it remained stubbornly, beautifully Austronesian. It's what linguists call a linguistic miracle. Think of it like this. Tagalog saw the thousands of Spanish words coming in, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and basically said, okay, you can come in, but you have to wear our uniform and play by our rules. For example, in English, we might take the word drive. In Tagalog, you can't just say drive. That feels wrong. You have to put it into the Austronesian grammar machine. You add a prefix, like mag, to make it magdrive. You take a foreign word and force it into a native grammatical structure. Tagalog does this with thousands of Spanish and English words. It Filipinoizes them. The verb system, with all its complex prefixes, infixes, and suffixes, is pure Austronesian. The sentence structure, which can start with the verb, is completely alien to Spanish or English. This is the resilient core of the language. It absorbed a massive colonial blow, but never let its identity be erased. It bent, but it never, ever broke. And that's the lesson here. The story of Tagalog is the story of the Filipino people. It's a story that starts with some of the gravest explorers in human history. It's a story of being open to the world, embracing spiritual ideas from India and new tastes from China. And it's a story of surviving centuries of colonization, not by rejecting foreign influence, but by absorbing it, adapting it, and making it uniquely your own. So the next time you hear Tagalog being spoken, whether it's salamat from Arabic, guro from Sanskrit, kuya from Chinese, or mesa from Spanish, all held together by that ancient Austronesian grammar, you're not just hearing one language, you're hearing 4,000 years of history. You're hearing the echoes of canoes, temples, markets, and galleons. You're hearing a living, breathing testament to cultural exchange, survival, and incredible resilience. It's more than just a language. It's a unifying lens that shows us how connected we all are. What an incredible journey. What language's secret history should we uncover next? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. And of course, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the forgotten stories that shape our world. Thanks for watching.